Yep.
Okay.
Go over here. Okay, now we set it. Now we good. So countdown.
Okay.
Wait a minute, I gotta add a title. It always asks me to add a title.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. 5 and 4 and 3. And 1. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Garlan Redcup Variety Podcast. And sorry for coming on a little bit late. We had some technical difficulties, but that is Mr. Paul Garwood. I am Logan Lanier. The Patriot won this morning. Patriot. We don't have a president yet, but he's coming. He's coming. We got to be a little patient. But anyway, we're just so glad to be here this morning. And not the booze. We don't want to be booed, do we? Okay, there we go. All right, we're just glad to be here this morning and so happy that you're here to join us. And Brother Paul, how you feel?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. And, this been a crazy week, man. And it's still going kind of crazy. But what I want to know right now is, Brother Logan, what you got good in that Red Cup?
What I got good in this Red Cup this morning, outside of my cucumber smoothie, which I am trying to get lean, okay, in the Red Cup this morning, we got, where do we go from here? And that's going to be our segment here later on. But and we're going to have some call-ins. And by the way, there is a link that is on our Facebook page. Now, that link may have changed. I'll let you know that here in a second because of our technical difficulties. But nevertheless, we're going to have some call-ins starting about 10:30, and I'll give you those details here in a minute. But
yes, sir,
Brother Garwood, we have breaking news this morning. Breaking news this morning out of the city of New York. The wife leaves her husband after he answers all the voting solicitation calls on their landline. What in the name of Elizabeth Taylor is going on?
She divorced him for that?
She I don't know if she divorced him. She left him. She left him for answering all the solicitation calls on their landline. Must have been something else
going on there too. I don't really know if that's something that you divorce somebody for or leave somebody for. So, something had to be going on there. What you think? What you think about that?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say. I can think of a lot of better things to leave somebody for, but why would you leave your husband for answering solicitation calls? We've heard about things. People leave or divorce or separate or something totally worse. Okay,
right?
Like leaving the toilet seat up.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Not pushing the toothpaste up from the bottom. You push it up through the middle. I've seen people get very upset about that. Right.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I don't know. Not cutting the grass. Okay, so you're trying to cut the grass today. Answering all the call. I mean, and by right. Okay, let's look at this. We had everybody's listening probably had a lot of people calling them on their landline, on their cell phone, asking them to vote and that kind of thing. Okay. Now, for all we know, he could have answered the landline because it could have been an emergency. It doesn't indicate how old these people are. Okay, but he could have been an old school guy, like to answer his landline phone. Okay?
I got an opinion.
I don't know. Okay.
The fact that they still have a landline let me know how old they are. Man, don't nobody have landlines no more. I don't know.
I mean, I have one. I have one for emergencies. Okay, and the bad boy is disconnected at the moment because
what kind you got? You got the one that you got to turn, huh?
I got the one. No, I don't have that one. Okay, I am not that old. Okay, I may claim to be the good age of 60. But that is.
I was about to say.
Okay. Although I was in the era where we had.
I was about to say, did you go real old school on me? I'm only a year behind you, man. But did you go real old school on me?
Rotary. I'm talking about the rotary where it's hard to turn. I'm talking about not the. They went from that metal rotary to the plastic one where you can turn real good, and then it went to the Princess line, and then it went to Princess line was that long phone. Okay, you put it on the wall and all that stuff, and then it went to push button, and we thought we were big.
What though, man?
Show you how technology is now. What's that?
You know what though? But on the real, Brother Paul, then was the good old days. And man, I think I trade all this nonsense in and go back to them rotary phone days, man, because then was some good times. Do you agree? Then was some good times. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Good times, and and it's good times now. Okay, wouldn't you agree? Everybody, wouldn't you agree? Yes, it is going to be good times right now. Yes, it is. Okay, but we have to adjust the time. We're going to be talking about that later, and again, with this story here, and I was just so glad to hear about that. But okay, her leaving my man is totally
I agree with you.
Wrong.
I agree.
Okay. Totally wrong. Okay. All right. And let me just tell you this. Okay. You know what Liz Taylor told her sixth husband? I'm not going to keep it too long.
I don't blame you. After being married 5 times and to the same guy twice, I would believe her. Yes, sir.
Moving right along. We got more breaking news.
What's the other breaking news?
Out of the White House. Out of the White House this time. Out of the White House.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Garwood. Trump testifies to leave the country if he loses Joe Biden.
Bye. Your thoughts, sir. See you. Don't want to be you. I think a lot of people in this world be like, hey, man, hit the dough. Let the dough hit you where the good Lord split you. See ya. Bye. Adios, amigos. Well, but I don't think he's going to leave the country. I don't think he's going to leave. I think he's just talking stuff. I don't think he's going to leave the country. What you think?
If he leaves the country, he's leaving it for a reason. Now, there's a lot of stuff out there to him not paying his taxes, him having ties to Russia, and I mean, who knows? Okay, who knows? I don't know. I mean, it's bad. If he has ties to Russia and if he's not paying his taxes like they are indicating, okay, that cannot be good.
Would you look at that? Whatever, hey, man, it's like this, man. Whatever reason he got, I think he was just talking. I don't think he's leaving. I think he's gonna be right there in New York in Trump Plaza and still running his mouth and doing what he do.
Yeah, well, I mean, we shall see. We shall see, and And him testifying now that he's going to leave if he loses to Joe Biden. I mean, again, that all remains to be seen, and we shall see.
How many times does he do what he say he gonna do? That's my belief with him. I don't really pay too much attention to nothing that he say, cause it could be this one day, something else the next day.
Yeah. And again, we have to be very. We have to see what happens. We don't know what's going to happen, and again, we're going to talk about all that later. And we got a couple bills to pay at this moment right now, and one right now that's very dear to my heart, and that's Movies on the Go, LLC, and that's an 18-foot inflatable theater that my daughter-in-law has, and that's a business for my grandsons. And again, it's a business she has, and she will have movie world travel. She'll go anywhere, schools, events, church events, whatever it is that you may have. It's great for, again, birthday parties, family movie nights, sporting events, and much more. Movies on the Go, your mobile movie theater. And you can find more information on our website, which is the redcuppodcast.com.
Yes, and we also have an advertisement from Tiffany with the Tea. And this is a detox tea that will boost your immune system. It'll cleanse your vital organs, and it burns fat. It's a great supplement for your body, especially during this pandemic. Get your tea today. Tiffany with the Tea, you will find her contact information on our website and on our Facebook business page. That's the Red Cup Podcast and the Garlan Red Cup Variety Podcast. That's also on Facebook. Again, that's Tiffany with the Tea.
Oh. Okay, and those are two advertisements again. Patronize them. You can find their information on our website, again, the redcuppodcast.com. At this point now, we want to move right along because we apologize for our technical difficulties, but where do we go from here is a segment that we came up with because at this point in time, we thought we would have a president-elect. We do not. However, we would like to know as a people, be it currently President Trump or be it President-elect Biden, whoever it is that's our president here in the next few days, okay, we have to go forward. We are in the middle of this pandemic. There's a lot going on. And I'm going to give you my perspective. And my perspective on things with this is, number one, we got to stay prayed up. Yeah. We got to stay prayed up. I mean, if you're a praying person, if you're not a praying person, start praying. Stay prayed up. Ladies and gentlemen, God is in control. And I'm not, and I'm just as religious as they come. I'm not going to start preaching right now, but I do believe in God. God's in control. We are still faced with social issues, this pandemic, and God knows exactly what we need. And if we keep the faith, He will see us through, but we got to do our part. And so we do our part, God is going to do His part. Okay. The second thing I want to point out, we got to keep the same energy in exercising our voting rights. And that's everybody across. I mean, we all have a voting right and on all elections, not just this one. This one was the main focus, but there are other ones that's going to come within a 4-year period on a local, state, and federal level. So we got to keep the same energy. We got to hold our elected officials accountable. Any campaign promises, any issues that may arise in our various communities, we got to hold our elected officials accountable. So let's keep the same energy. And things are changing. Things are going in a direction that that's got to be favorable to us as Americans, as citizens of our country, of our communities. And my last point, and I want to give shout out to my nephew, DJ. I don't know if he's watching this or not, but DJ's in Washington, D.C. And like he said, he tagged me earlier yesterday with his Facebook post. He said, stay engaged and stay aware, stay focused. Changes would be made. And we know sometimes when there's change, oftentimes there's challenges. So, we got to be focused. We got to stay aware of all these things. And I don't have to get into what's going on in terms of what's going on in this world. But there are a lot of things that are going on. So we just got to be aware of some things.
I agree with you.
And at this point,
I agree with you 100%, Brother Logan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We kind of caught up with ourselves here in terms of time. And I'm going to, again, look at this link and make sure that it hasn't changed. And I will put it on our page. Paul, if you want to go ahead and if you want to have any thoughts, whatever, to what we just, where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here? When I thought about this, when we planned for this show, it let me know. I said, well, this is going to be a very, very important show. And I wanted to really think good and hard on where are we going to go from here. And I thought about Dr. King. Dr. King wrote a book, and it was called Social Justice, Chaos or Community. And this is where we're at right now. We can go one or two ways: chaos or community. Chaos is all of these rumors about, real or not, about civil war, violence in the streets. Or we can go community, where we put aside the differences that we have: racial divide, political divide, whatever divide that it is in this country. We put it aside and work as a community to make the United States better. Dr. King said, power properly understood is the ability to achieve purpose. It is the strength required to bring about social, political, and economic change. In this sense, power is not only desirable but necessary in order to implement the demands of love and justice. One of the greatest problems of history is that the concepts of love and power are usually contrasted as polar opposites. What is needed is a realization that power without love is reckless and abusive, and that love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice. Justice at its best is love correcting everything that stands against love. There's nothing essentially wrong with power. The problem is that in America is that power is unequally distributed. To me, that was prophetic to everything that we're going through today. We're seeing an abuse of power. We're seeing power being directed in an ill way toward citizens. This is our choice, America, and whoever's paying attention to us. We're either going to go into chaos or we're going to go into community. And as Brother Logan said, I'm praying every single day that the choice is community. And when we look at our political climate, it seems like one person favors chaos and one person favors community. So I ask God to soften the hearts of every American and make that be community and working together for a better United States. Thank you.
Well said. Well said. Well said, Brother Paul. Well said. Well said. And again, we want to hear what you think now. Again, we have a few technical difficulties, but if you go on our Facebook page, I posted a link. Okay. So that ending part, it says Garland Podcast, it's probably say 2-3. It is 2-5 now. Okay. So it's that first part of the link, Riverside FM. If you see that, https //riverside.fm/p. All that's still the same. The only difference is the last part there. This is Garland Podcast .3. I mean -3. It should say dash. Put in Garland Podcast 2-5. That 2-3 is no longer good. So if you want to call in to us right now, we'll be waiting, and we'll give you a couple minutes to voice your opinion, or not so much your opinion. You know, we want to hear a statement, some positive in regards to where do we go from here? Okay, where do we go from here? And again, we are faced with a lot of things right now in terms of, again, a pandemic, social issues, so many things are going on, okay? And it's very, very important that we come together. Again, forgive me if I go off of this platform, it probably will not let me back in because this is a studio. And so, again, that link, if you go on our Facebook page, Garland Podcast, the link is there, but substitute Garland Podcast 2-3 for 2-5. That's the only thing you got to do. And it'll let you into our green room, and we will have you on live. We will actually see you. Again, it's a live link. It's not an audio link. It is a live link. So we love to see you there. Again, that's Garland Podcast 2-5. That last thing at the end of that link is what you want to put in. So just make sure you put the first part of the link in, and then that last part, Garland Podcast 2-5.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you something, brother.
Sure. Yes, sir. Yes.
How would you change things? You know, you say, where do we go from here? What would you do?
Mm-hmm. Things have to begin with our laws. Okay. And again, you know, some things got to be changed within the laws of which we live, or what we're governed by. Okay. And we have to make sure that it stays the way it's supposed to stay. There are laws on the books, okay, but as we know, sometimes they're not being followed, and that's mainly our fault, okay, but then they're not being enforced correctly, okay, and that's on our elected officials. So a lot of those a lot of that has to change. It has to start from the top, start with our elected officials, and it has to ensure that our laws are beneficial to us, and making sure that they are, okay? You can't put it on there and say one thing and do another. Okay, so I would.
No, go ahead. Uh-huh. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, so I would start. That's where I would start, okay, in terms of change, okay? Because again, you know, a lot of times, again, the people are in place, but they're not enforcing the laws that are there the right way, okay? There is a right way to do this.
How do we deal with all the listeners, and you want to chime in on this? How do we deal with the double standard that's happening? You know, I'm gonna give some examples. You know, the Supreme Court. All right, when former President Obama tried to put in the gentleman for Supreme Court, they blocked it because of the election. Where this time, that same block was not put. Okay, or in the last few days, where we had situations where, you know, stop the count in the states that winning, but don't stop the count in the states that I'm losing. Okay, How do we make our politicians accountable to double standard? What do you think about that? Then I'm gonna give my opinion.
Okay, you're asking
Yes.
me, or you asking our
No,
listeners?
I'm asking
Okay.
everybody plus us. You know, and they can chime in, but
Yeah. Again, if you go on our website, not a website, I'm sorry, go on our Facebook page, please. Garlan Podcast. I put a link up there. It says Garlan Podcast 2-3. It is 2-5. So put that first part of that link in there, and then put Garlan Podcast 2-5, and I will accept your incoming call. Again, it's a live link. You have to be on your laptop and put that in to your browser, and you will be in our green room, and we will put you on. And again, Brother Paul, that's a very profound question, okay? Because we do see some double standard,
yes.
okay? How do we deal with a double standard? Okay, and that's across the board.
Across the board.
Okay,
That's everything.
That's across the board.
In life, period.
Okay. That has nothing to do with race or anything. That is across the board.
Yes.
Okay. How do we deal with that? Okay.
Blatant double standard.
And we like to do.
And we talking, brother, we talking a blatant double standard. Not
Yes.
one that's sneaking. I'm talking about just one of those. I'm gonna laugh in your face. Yeah, I know we did it. When we did it this, but now we're gonna do it the opposite way. It's just blatant.
Yes. And again, like I said, we want to know what you think, and again, put that link in. I know I hate to say it to you verbally, but I have to, because again, I can't leave the video portion because we are live in a studio platform, and if I leave this, then I will be out of the platform altogether. So again, that first part, https://riverside.fm, all that's good. It's the last part, okay? After the P, there's a / that says Garlan Podcast. On our Facebook page, it's 2-3. It is 2-5. So put all that in, put Garlan Podcast 2-5, and you will appear on us. Now, in the meantime, if you want to do that, okay, we are fielding questions, and Brother Paul got his phone right there. And if you got any questions, we are live, and you can ask questions right from that if you like, okay, and we will read them and answer them. You can do that, okay. You don't have to come live. A lot of you probably don't want to come live if your hair ain't done. You're still in your pajamas and you don't want to come on the camera. We totally understand that, okay? But you can ask a question. Go to our Facebook page, Garlan Podcast. Again, we are live on Facebook right now. We have some technical difficulties, but if you go on and ask a question from that, we will certainly see it and we will certainly respond. And Brother Paul, I do not see any at the moment.
That's why I'm gonna go back to what I was talking about, the double standard.
Sure.
What we do is what brother Logan said earlier. How you deal with the double standard is the power of the vote. This is why we had ancestors, we had people that died for the right to vote. It was a battle for the right to vote. When you see these blatant acts. The power of the vote is how you deal with it and make them accountable.
Yes.
And this is what's so special about this election is that the multitudes came out to exercise their power, and this is why it's so much from hatred to envy to anarchy, because this has never happened before. The power of the people have not come out in the multitudes to exercise their right and their power to vote. And it's stunning. And I think this is one of the reasons why it's taking so long to count these votes, because of the sheer multitude of them. And it's taking so long to announce, because this has ever happened. This has never happened before. And I'm my hat off to everybody that weathered this pandemic, or made that decision to get their vote in early, made that decision to mail their vote in, made that decision to take their ballot, to the clerk office. Hats off to you, because this is the only this is our only mechanism that we have to combat blatant anything that's blatant, especially a blatant double standard. What you think about that, Brother Logan?
Yes, and we have to get past certain things. When I say the certain things, we got to get past the hatred. We got to get past and a lot of things is not just blatant. A lot of things are done, behind the scenes. Okay. I mean, come on. We have to get past that. Okay. And again, I don't want to, it's not a racial thing or anything like that. This is just something, I mean, people are not getting hired. Okay. And because they're not the right gender. Okay. They're not, we got to get past, if you're qualified for the job or whatever, you're qualified for it. Okay. We have to get past all of this. Okay. And it's my prayer that we do. It's my prayer that we come to a point to where nobody's judged. Okay. The judgment thing has to cease. Now I'm talking. Okay. And I'm talking, and I'm generalizing, but it has to stop. This has been going on far too long. It's been going on well before we were born. It may not ever end. I mean, we don't know, but it has to get to a point where we should be able, okay, to treat one another and love one another the way we're supposed to be doing it. Okay. Let's talk with my neighbors, and I don't know if they're listening in right now. And we were talking about outside talking earlier about we're going to our communities. We have some gentleman that owns a store. They're Indian, and they work constantly. Okay, and they treat us here in the community fairly. We have to get along with one another. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter what color skin you are. We just need to get along with one another. We have to, but it begins with us. Okay. I mean, it begins with us. Okay. Everything has a place. Now, right now we got the election. We have, nobody should be looking over somebody's shoulder to make sure a vote is counted. Yes. I think that's ridiculous.
No trust.
Okay.
Right.
The votes are going to be, this is the first time it's ever happened. The votes are going to get counted fairly. Okay. And I don't want to get into all the overhead stuff of why they're doing it, okay? But that should never be. Nobody have to be looking over your shoulder to make sure that you're doing your job, okay? Because you want a certain individual in office. And I don't want to get off on all of that, okay? But we are a democracy, okay? And let the democratic process take place. That has always been the case. And that is how it should be, okay? And we have had any issues up to this point. So let the democratic process take place.
And when we talk about where do we go from here, we have to accept the differences of people. All right, we have to accept differences and then work together. It can't be a constant divide. Republican, Democrat, black, white, male, man, woman. Parents, children, we can't have that constant divide, all right, where we can't work together for a common cause, or we can't work together for the betterment of a situation. We can't be at war with each other if we're going to accomplish anything. That has a lot to do with where do we go from here. All right, because if we continue to have that type of attitude, well, the results are going to be the same. It's going to get progressively worse. If we want it to get better, we have to stop doing the things that we've always did to get it to the point that where we at. It has to be change, right? And anybody that's listening to anybody, it has to be changed. We cannot keep doing the same things over and over and over again and then expect positive results.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And again, we love to hear your comments. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. And like I stated in our first show, these platforms like this, albeit it's clarity on our end, we are a platform and we have to go through other ones like Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. Okay, so that feed sometimes does not work. And that's kind of where we're at this morning with this. But nevertheless, we're moving forward. And if you got any questions, my indicators here say that we are live on Facebook through our website, Garlan Podcast. And so by that, if you're watching, there's not do you have any errors, Paul, by any chance? You don't see any errors on your end, do you?
No. Everything, everything is fine. Everything.
Okay.
Everything is. I'm looking at everything. Everything is good. Yeah.
Right. If you want to field a question, just go right on there. Paul will see it, and we will field your question or comment, or we'll read your statement, comment, whatever it is that you want to say. Go to our website. I keep saying website. Go to our Facebook page, Garlan Podcast. And, all your comments are welcome. And if you have a question or whatever, what we're talking about, feel free. Speaking of our website, we have a beautiful website, and that's the redcuppodcast.com, the redcuppodcast.com. So after today, if you want to review this broadcast, it will be on our website. It will be edited and placed on there, and edited and placed on our Facebook page as well, and YouTube. Okay, so we'd love to again hear your comments. If you can, if you want to go on our live call-in link again, just put in that HTTPS semicolon, it was / riverside.fm/P/Garlan podcast 2-5. Okay, so that same link that's on our Facebook page, that last part, it says Garlan Podcast 2-5. So that was the only change.
Yes,
sir.
When we talk about, and going back to our subject matter, when we talk about where do we go from here, we also have to touch base on the pandemic, because because of the presidential election, there hasn't really been a lot of talk about the pandemic, and that goes hand in hand with the presidential election, with the president or the president-elect. The numbers are rising in all of the states. I have to say that take this pandemic very serious. Protect yourself. Don't be stubborn. Wear a mask. Limit the places that you go. I'm not advocating just stay at home and be a recluse, but when you go out, there's important places to go, and then there's places that you don't really have to do. But with these numbers rising here in Michigan, we had over 10,000 yesterday, 10,000 positive cases. And I don't believe that it's going to be a total shutdown like it was before, but, take the necessary precautions, and keep your immune system built up. I know we talked about the T, but there's many different things that you can do. And one of the main ones that has nothing to do with supplements is, try to limit the stress in your life, because and stress will will suppress your immune system. Stress and worry will suppress your immune system. So this is where prayer comes in. This is where finding ways to alleviate stress is so important when you're trying to battle a pandemic and keep your immune system up. What you got to say about that, Brother Logan?
Now, I have turned into the exercise guru.
Yes, sir.
And some of you all have seen stuff, and I just be messing around. I go into the gym here. We have a fitness center here where I live, and I go in there with my tripod, and I'm not no means trying to be like what's the guy with all the workout stuff.
Oh yeah, I know. So many of them, I know.
And I'm dating myself, and I'm proud to say I'm in my 60s. I'm 60.
Okay.
A lot of y'all don't remember Jack LaLanne.
I do.
Well, I know you do. Okay, because you're right behind me. You're 59. Okay. But Jack LaLanne was on every morning, okay, with exercises in the mornings, okay? And having, and again, this pandemic gave me a whole new focus, okay? I'm going to put a before and after picture up on my Facebook page here shortly. I got a little bit more to go, okay? But when the pandemic started, March, whatever it was, I weighed myself. I was looking at myself. I'm like, wait a minute, this is too. I'm eating everything in sight. I'm eating all the cookie. I mean, because when they announced and they start shutting stuff down, okay, I'm like many people went crazy and went to the store and bought
all them sweets.
Everything I get.
You bought up all them sweets.
Well, the shelves were starting to get bare. Everybody was buying food and
made that run.
And pretty soon you can buy anything.
Yeah.
So a lot of sweets, yes. Okay. So I ballooned to 230.
Okay.
235, as a matter of fact. Okay. I am proud to say I am now down to 219.
Okay.
219. And man, I'm telling you, man, I feel great. And I'm giving myself a hand. Yes. Giving myself a hand. I exercise 4 days a week. I am drinking cucumber smoothies right now. I drink Tiffany with the tea every time I work out. God bless you, Tiffany. Hope you listen to this, okay? You're going to get more customers. You're already selling out now, okay? But that is an energy booster. You got to take care of yourself. Exercising boosts your immune system. Again, like Paul said, it relieves stress. Yeah. It is a stress reliever. Do not sit in the house. Get out. Just take a little walk or whatever. You're out in public, wear your mask. And again, protect yourself. Wear your gloves. Okay, I wear gloves every time I go out. And when I go in the fitness center, I have gloves on. The pandemic is here. And until it goes away, and it's going to go away. Okay, it's going to go away. Okay, again, we just have to stay prayed up and listen to our medical experts, our scientists that knows. We got to listen to them. Okay, we cannot be so arrogant to think they don't know what they're talking about. And we're caught up, and I'm saying we're because I was kind of like that too, where we want to do what we want to do. Okay, and 200,000 people that are dead. Okay, so we have to be smart. Let's be smart. Let's listen to the doctors, the scientists, and let's do what we're supposed to do. And then we can get past this thing and we can get back to our lives. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, but we have to do our part. But if you can exercise, run. Okay, I run 2 miles every time I go in there. Okay, and I got about 4 more pounds to lose. And I'm getting to a certain point. That's not me. I'm going to stop and go back to eating all the junk that I like. And let me say this real quick. We all like stuff that tastes good. Yes, we do. Okay. I like things that taste good. I like the cookies. I like the ice cream. All that stuff. Anything that tastes good hate to kind of tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, it's probably not good for you.
It's not.
Everything that don't taste so good is good for you. This does not taste good. But I've been drinking it, so I'm used to it, okay? Tiffany with the tea, she has a lot of ingredients, natural ingredients in there. When you first taste, you're going to go like, ugh. But you got to acquire the taste for it, and it is good for you, and it works. I'm telling you, if you do this and drink some ginger, turmeric, whatever it is that you do, it works. I'm telling you. And drink water. Drink some water. I used to be a Pepsi head.
Now, I'm doing the same thing. I'm 6'7". I went up to football weight. I left basketball weight, went up to football weight. I was about 320. And I know I done lost about 25 pounds. I used the pandemic and leading to this presidential election. It was a reset. The life slowed down. The world slowed down. It gave you an opportunity to think and reassess and look at your life from a different standpoint. And I tell, as the Garlan Redcup Podcast, we tell you to use this time to introspect. Take a look at your life, find out what you need to improve on, find out what you need to get better at, find out what you need to do, and set up a plan and go and do it.
Yes.
I stopped just like what Brother Logan said, no fast food, no pop, no sweets, no potato chips. I was a Pepsi and Lay's potato chips head. I could eat that and drink that every day. Exercise, pray, meditate, seek help. This pandemic presidential election has a lot of people just stressed out and on the verge of depression. Don't sit there alone and suffer. Seek help. It's a lot of free help out here where people that you can talk to, people that will help you. When we say, where do we go from here? You got to get there. Okay. We want you, when times get better, we want you to be a part of it. Don't sit there and suffer alone. Right. This is, it's some perilous times. I'm not going to go biblical, but, we know, and we knew that sooner or later we was going to have to go through something like this, but, stand strong, things are going to get better. And that's what we started this radio show for, because on a bi-weekly basis, we're going to give you some nuggets, man, just to live your life better, just to improve, just to do better. We don't know everything, but what we're doing is we just life experiences and wisdom and just giving back. This is what we're doing. I'm not going to say everything we do is right. All right. But at least we're trying. Okay. So, I asked you, out there, is do whatever you can to lower that stress level and never, ever go into depression, because depression is real. A lot of people are taking their lives, and we don't want it to get to that. Okay. We don't want to break.
Yes.
All right. So think about that.
Well said. Well said. Well said again. Well said, my brother. Well said. Well said. Actually, that kind of segues into, because we only have a few minutes left here, it segues into our next show. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, Thanksgiving is in 2.5 weeks.
Yes, my favorite holiday.
2.5 weeks, yes. Okay? And, we're going to eat. Yes, we are, okay? And then it's going to be Christmas and New Year's. I mean, it's going to be a lot of food going around, okay? And enjoy yourself, by all means, okay? But our next show is going to be a 2-part show, and like Paul said, we're going to be talking about how to deal with your stress levels around the holidays, but there'll be a time for us to reflect on the goodness of still being here, even though we're in the middle of a pandemic and all the social unrest and all that. praise the Lord, thank you, Jesus, we are still here. And so we should get past our technical difficulties and that kind of thing and allow you to chime in. But we are probably going to have a special guest to talk about wellness on our next show, which will be November 21st. And we'll have the title of all of that, and that will be all posted, much like our this show was posted. It'll be on our website and on our Facebook page. And again, this is our website, theredcuppodcast.com. And again, this will be uploaded and edited to be seen again. Theredcuppodcast.com and Garlan Podcast on our Facebook page. And again, that Thanksgiving show is going to be very, very important, and it should be very, very enlightening. Again, we'll get past the technical issues, and we'll have our live call-ins on that show. We'll have all this straightened out. Okay, and with that, we always end our show with a positive affirmation. Paul has one, and then I have one.
Yes, well, my shout out is going to go to the Youth Community Agency. It's a nonprofit organization in Detroit. It's very dear to me because, one, I'm on the board of the agency. Number two, I'm the youth community officer for the agency. What we do is really look after young women and children who needs assistance to deal with being a mother, and having a child. And what we're in the month of November, we're going to have a telethon, and it's going to be posted on our website. It's going to be posted on our business page. It's going to be posted on the Youth Community Agency page also. And we would appreciate any kind of help. I know it's tough times, but any little bit helps. And what we're doing is, we're setting up emergency housing for young women with children, because a lot of people are, getting evicted, getting set out. We have one house that we're fixing up to where we're going to be able to house 3 to 4 families, and we're looking to do more. And we're trying to raise money for emergency housing, where if you're out there on that street with your children, all of the normal places to go, they're filled up. Okay, budget's been cut, so it's not there. You have a lot of people that's living in cars with children, and winter's coming. All right, and we're trying to can't alleviate that problem, but we're trying to help change that problem. All right, so my shout out goes to the Youth Community Agency, Ronisha Ross. She's the founder, beautiful person. She just, everything she does is toward helping people, and this is why I was so happy to come aboard. All right, so my shout out goes to the Youth Community Agency.
Shout out to them, and we thank them for all that they're doing and all that they continue to do. And Paul, I know you're going to do a great work in that as you go forward and be more involved in that.
Yes, sir.
And my shout out, my affirmation shout out is to all of the poll workers, all of everybody that worked the polls, the precinct managers, everybody that worked the polls. We want to give you a round of applause. I know that it was kind of tough environment here these last few days, but we applaud you. Kudos. I know a lot of people that work the polls, a lot of people that work downtown, TCF Center in Detroit. I had to endure a lot, but hats off to you all. You did a Herculean job in all that you did during this election. So that is my shout out to all the poll workers, precinct managers, captains, whatever your title was. Hats off to you.
And can I say this?
Any closing remarks?
Yes. Can I say this?
Sure.
For those poll workers, they're still counting. So we're still praying. You are the front line of democracy. What you're doing in counting them votes is the front line to saving democracy. So we're still praying
Yes.
for you.
Yes. Yes.
My
Yes.
closing remark goes back to, just briefly, where do we go from here? Is it going to be chaos or is it going to be community? Nobody's going nowhere. We have to deal with each other. Nobody's going anywhere. Let's pray for community. Let's pray that we can find a way to start to work together to alleviate the problems that plague our nation. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, well said, Brother Paul. And we're going to end the show. And again, we appreciate you being with us. And again, we apologize for all the technical difficulties. A lot of it's not our fault because we are part of a studio platform for podcasting, and sometimes that happens. But we'll see you next in 2 weeks. 2 weeks for our Thanksgiving show. And again, we should have a president-elect of some sort in 2 weeks. Peace. 2 fingers.
Take care. Garland, new president, hopefully. Take care.